All right, so on worksheet 1B, we're going to review some things on 2.5. Now, we're not actually taking a quiz today, but it's been a few days since we talked now about rational graphs, about asymptotes and all that stuff, okay? We're going to practice this some more on Monday, along with reviewing 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. And then we'll actually have a review day Tuesday and quiz Wednesday, okay? So we're going to review a couple days for this quiz because I feel like we really rushed through 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. So we'll spend some time practicing them. But your practice assignment tonight is one rational graph that you have to explain. So we're going to start. This is 1B. Did everybody find their worksheet? Right? This is the problem. Okay, so you might want your Peach reference sheet if you don't have it handy, but it says state the domain of the function, state the equation of the vertical and horizontal asymptotes, and also find x-intercepts, y-intercepts as ordered pairs. So on our sheet, it says that we should always find the y-intercept before we actually factor it, and we find the y-intercept by putting in x equals 0. So if I put in a 0 here, I'd have 2 times 0 minus 6, which would be negative 6. This pen is worse than ever today. It's just, I might as well use my finger. This is horrible. Okay. In the denominator, if you put 4 times 0 plus 0, or plus 5 times 0 plus 1, we'd get what? 1. So 0, negative 6 is the y-intercept. Oh, it had a blank back here for it. Sorry, I totally missed it. All right. Then we're supposed to factor. How can I factor this? What can I do to the top? Take out a 2, and then that will leave an x minus 3. And the denominator, I believe, factors, oh my goodness, 4x plus 1 and x plus 1. Yep. It's going to try my patience on a day when I want to hurry. All right, so no hole in this one, right? No common factor, top and bottom. What are the domain restrictions? The denominator cannot equal 0. I can't even make a 0. So we would get, this would solve to be negative 1/4 and negative 1. Everybody okay? All right. So x cannot equal negative 1/4 or negative 1. Now, as long as there's not a hole, both of those values become what? The vertical asymptotes. Good job. So we have one at x equals negative 1/4 and x equals negative 1. All right. I think our sheet would tell us to do zeros next. Anybody remember how zeros work? Zeros or x-intercepts are what sets the top equal to 0. So if I set that top equal to 0, does 2 equal 0? But x minus 3, what value would I put in there that would make that 0? So it has 1 x-intercept at 3, 0. And then end behavior, all the top heavy, bottom heavy stuff is called end behavior. What is the end behavior idea here, guys? It is bottom heavy. It is degree. Anybody know what the top degree is? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm glad this is a short lesson, but I'm going to lose patience completely here. Degree 1 over degree 2. Yep, pretend that says something. So it is bottom heavy. Give up. I don't even know what to do. It is bottom heavy, so what is the end behavior for bottom heavy? Do you remember? It's just y equals 0. Yep. So the horizontal asymptote is at y equals 0. Kaylee here today? Are you here? I can't see. Yes? Okay, I got it. Thank you. It's for later anyway, but Riley? All right. So trying to quickly go through this, the top is written weird. We could take out a -1 just so that it looked more familiar to us, and that would make it an x minus 4, or you can leave it how it was. Okay. The denominator, if we had to find the y-intercept, if I put in a 0 everywhere, I would have 4 over -2. Does that seem right? So if I put in a 0 for x before factoring, wouldn't I get a 4 on the top and a -2 on the bottom? Trying to write with my finger now. This is so special. So down at 0, -2 is where it's crossing the y at. And the x-intercept is what would make the top 0. Anybody tell me what number will make the top 0? +4. So we have an x-intercept over here. I didn't get the bottom factored underneath there, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to write tiny enough. Wouldn't it factor x minus 2, x plus 1, guys? So where are the vertical asymptotes? Oh my goodness. X plus 1. Clearly that says x plus 1. I'm going to have to find some old notes of this or something. The vertical asymptotes would be at x equals +2 and -1. I can't even read what I wrote. What was this factor? X plus 1. So it's x equals -1. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I'm really confusing myself here. Okay, so then we need to put in some lines, and thankfully I have a line tool. Okay, over here at 2 and over here at -1. This equation was also what? Bottom heavy? So if it's bottom heavy, it approaches y equals 0. So there is a horizontal asymptote here, which it clearly crosses. Yes, guys? Because we have a x-intercept right here at 4. All right. Then we go to the calculator and we type it in as we originally started. Don't let me go more than 5 minutes, okay? 5 more minutes. I want to get started on the retakes, but I think we can get through a couple things here. All right, this one was 4 minus x. Is that how it started? Divided by x squared, and then I forget, minus x? Minus 2? Did I get it right? Okay. If I do a zoom 6, this is what I'm seeing. Does that match with what we have? We had 2 asymptotes, right? Okay, so for the sake of time, it is going to cross out here. If you trace far to the right, whoops, oh, if you trace far to the right, after, what was it, 4, it does become negative, okay? So I'm going to try to sketch this really badly, I'm sure, but it would be, was it up here, guys? And I don't think that one did cross. And this one over here just crossed and stayed right below it. And then this one was just like a little parabola in here. I didn't do too bad. Questions? All right, how do you find a hole? Yeah, if we factor this real fast, which means it's going to be real messy, x plus 5, x minus 5. The bottom factors x plus 5, x plus 2. Okay, so the common factor is x plus 5, but before you cancel it, you write down what? What value can we not have here? Because of that common factor, we can't have an x value of negative 5. Does everybody see that? The denominator, the domain cannot include negative 5 because it would make the denominator 0. Then you cancel that factor, and then you put the negative 5 back in, because now it's going to be negative 5 minus 5 over negative 5 plus 2. Which will be negative 10 over negative 3, or positive 10 thirds. And that's how you find a hole. You find the common factor, you set it equal to 0, and that's your x value. Then you cancel it and plug it back in. If you don't cancel it, you will end up with 0 over 0, which is undefined. All right. Questions on the whole? All right, there is a question like this on the quiz next week. Write a polynomial, no, not a polynomial one. We're gonna skip that one. We're gonna do, not gonna do long division. Okay, how do you find the end behavior equation? This is on the quiz. When it's top heavy. This one is top heavy. What just happened now? Okay, this one is top heavy, which means you have to divide. Can we do synthetic here? Yes, right? Okay, so if we do synthetic division, what goes in the box? But I think we have to put a 0 across, don't we? We have 1x cubed, 0x squareds, a negative 4x, and an 8. All right, if we bring this down, multiply, add, does anybody else get in 36? Add, and we get 32. And then for Hofbauer's sanity, the good news is that we get to throw out the remainder anyway, right? So I can stop. What is this equation then? Our end behavior equation, which I suppose I should write up here, is y equals, it's not an asymptote. What is it? Yeah, it's a parabola. X squared plus 6x plus 32. All right, I'd really like to take time to graph that, and maybe I'll put it up on the screen in a minute for you, but the bottom line is it's going to look if you zoom out, it's going to look like a parabola that has a break in it. Okay, I guess that was the only one I was going to do. Was there not a... Okay, I'll quit. This is your assignment this weekend. Did I get a chance to talk to you about this yesterday at all? Okay. It is on worksheet 15A of the Unit 2 packet. The worksheet looks like this. It says Flipgrid summative on graphing rational functions, okay? I haven't decided if I'm going to count it as a summative or not yet. I guess I should make that decision, but I really want you to do it, okay? You don't have to do a Flipgrid if you don't want. It says up here that you can just write a paragraph, but you need to include all of the things on the peach sheet. Does that make sense? All of the features, how you found them, and then a nice graph where they're labeled. Does that make sense? And I will get you graph paper. I thought I meant to bring some, but I'm not sure I have it. I will make sure we have graph paper here before the end of the hour. If you want to do the Flipgrid and record it rather than write a whole bunch of stuff out, you can find the link in our Google Classroom. Any questions?